Right now, Japan is shaking apart. 5 minutes ago, a magnitude 8.9 earthquake ripped through the Pacific plate beneath Tokyo Bay. And this is not a drill. Skyscrapers are swaying like reeds, highways are cracking open, and scientists are terrified because the aftershocks aren't stopping. They are getting stronger. Emergency broadcasts are screaming across every channel. The ground is still moving. Families are trapped in collapsing subway tunnels. Power grids are failing across 3 prefectures. And the worst part? Seismologists are watching something on their monitors they've never seen before, a pressure signature that suggests the megathrust fault isn't done. It's reloading. What's happening beneath Japan right now could be the beginning of something far worse. The shaking hits without warning. At 2:47 p.m. local time, the earth beneath Tokyo convulses with a violence that sends millions of people sprawling to the ground. Glass explodes from office towers. Car alarms shriek in unison across the city. Train conductors slam emergency brakes, but the rails are already buckling. In Shibuya, the famous scramble crossing empties in seconds as people sprint for cover, clutching their heads, screaming into their phones. The quake lasts 2 minutes and 30 seconds, an eternity. Buildings designed to withstand magnitude 7 events are groaning, steel frames bending, concrete dust billowing into the streets. When the shaking finally stops, the silence is worse. Because everyone knows this isn't over. Within 90 seconds, the Japan Meteorological Agency issues the highest alert level ever recorded. The message is blunt, borderline desperate. MEGA-QUAKE in progress. Multiple aftershocks expected. Evacuate coastal areas immediately. Tsunami risk extreme. But the aftershocks don't wait. The first one hits 18 minutes later, magnitude 7.2, and it sent it closer to the city. Entire neighborhoods that survived the first quake buckle under the second. A 12-story apartment complex in Kawasaki tilts 15 degrees and stays there, suspended in a kind of horrific limbo. Residents are still inside, hanging on to door frames, too terrified to move. At the National Research Institute for Earth Science, Dr. Hiroshi Takamura is staring at his screen with his hands shaking. He's been studying seismic activity for 30 years, and what he's seen makes no sense. The aftershocks aren't decaying, they are clustering, tightening, intensifying. The fault isn't relieving stress, it's building it. He picks up the phone and calls the cabinet office. His voice is barely steady. We need to evacuate Tokyo. Now, this isn't a normal sequence. The megathrust is still engaged. The official on the other end hesitates. Evacuate 13 million people? Based on what? Takamura's voice cracks. Based on the fact that we're about to see something we've only theorized about. The third aftershock comes 31 minutes after the first quake. Magnitude 7.8. It centered directly beneath Yokohama. The shaking is lateral, brutal, whipping structures side to side. The Yokohama Bay Bridge, one of the longest in the country, snaps in the center. 2 sections collapse into the water, taking 14 vehicles with them. Drivers trapped on the remaining spans abandon their cars and run, the roadway swaying beneath their feet like a suspension bridge in a storm. Rescue helicopters are already in the air, but they can't land. The ground is still moving. Pilots are radioing back to command, voices tight with fear. We can see fires starting in 6 different districts. Repeat, 6 simultaneous fires. No ground crews can respond. In the suburbs of Chiba, a young mother named Akiko is trapped in her kitchen. The refrigerator has toppled and pinned the door shut. Her 2 children are screaming in the hallway. She can hear the walls cracking above her. Every few minutes, another aftershock rolls through, and the ceiling sags a little more. She's on the phone with emergency services, but the line is overwhelmed. A recorded voice tells her to stay calm, stay put, help is coming. But she can hear the dispatcher in the background shouting at someone. They are not coming. Not yet. There are too many calls. Too many people trapped. Too many buildings collapsing in real time. Across Tokyo, the subway system has become a tomb. Over 300,000 commuters were underground when the quake hit. Most trains stopped safely, but 12 did not. In the Tozai line, a train derailed between stations, wedged into a tunnel that has partially collapsed. 200 passengers are inside, in total darkness. The air is thick with dust. Some people are injured, bleeding from head wounds, broken limbs. Others are trying to pry open the doors, but the tunnel has shifted. The frame is jammed. Cell phones flicker with dying batteries, casting ghostly light on faces streaked with tears and dirt. One man, a salaryman in his 50s, keeps repeating the same question to no one. Are they coming? Are they coming? No one answers, because no one knows. Above ground, the infrastructure is unraveling. Power is out across half of Greater Tokyo. Traffic lights are dead. Water mains have burst in 40 locations, flooding streets, washing away cars. The Sumida River has breached its banks in 2 places, spilling into residential areas. Gas leaks are being reported in hundreds of buildings, but fire crews can't respond. Roads are impassable, choked with debris and abandoned vehicles. At Haneda Airport, runways have cracked open. 3 planes that were taxiing are stranded, nose gear stuck in fissures that open beneath them. All flights are grounded. The control tower is evacuating. From the tarmac, travelers watch the Tokyo skyline through the haze, and they can see it, smoke rising from dozens of points. The city is burning. Then the tsunami warning escalates. Sirens wail along the entire eastern coast. The Pacific Tsunami Warning Center has detected a massive displacement event. The seafloor has shifted vertically by 11 meters. A wave is forming, moving east to west at the speed of a jet. Estimated height, 23 meters. Estimated time to landfall, 14 minutes. Coastal towns that rebuilt after 2011 are scrambling again. But this time, the roads are clogged. This time, the quake has already destroyed half the evacuation routes. In the port city of Ishinomaki, an elderly man stands on the seawall, staring at the horizon. He survived the last one. He's not running this time. Behind him, a police officer is screaming at him to move, but the old man just shakes his head. He's seen this before. He knows what's coming. Back at the Research Institute, Dr. Takamura is now on a conference call with seismologists from Kyoto, Osaka, and Nagoya. They are all seeing the same thing. The mega-thrust fault, the boundary where the Pacific Plate dives beneath the Eurasian Plate, is not behaving like it should. After a quake this size, there should be a decay pattern. Smaller, weaker aftershocks spreading outward. But instead, the aftershocks are intensifying, concentrating in a narrow zone southwest of the epicenter, toward the Nankai Trough. One of the scientists, Dr. Imiko Sato, speaks what everyone is thinking. If the Nankai segment ruptures now, while the system is still unstable, we're looking at a magnitude 9.3 or higher. And it will trigger everything. Tokai, to Nankai, the entire subduction zone. We could lose half the country. The government convenes an emergency session. The Prime Minister is pale, hands folded on the table, listening to advisors argue in frantic circles. Evacuate Tokyo? Impossible. Declare martial law? Too late. The military is already mobilizing, but resources are stretched thin. The self-defense forces are deploying to 70 cities simultaneously. There aren't enough helicopters, aren't enough boats, aren't enough hands. One general slams his fist on the table. We are fighting a war against the Earth itself, and we are losing. At 4:12 p.m., the tsunami makes landfall. It strikes Miyagi Prefecture first, a churning wall of black water filled with debris. Cars, boats, trees, rooftops. It obliterates the coastal towns in seconds. Entire neighborhoods vanish beneath the surge. The wave pushes inland for 6 kilometers, swallowing rice fields, highways, schools. Survivors cling to rooftops, tree branches, anything above the waterline. Helicopters hover overhead, winches dropping, but they can only save a few. The rest watch the water rise and rise, cold and black and unstoppable. Then, at 4:47 p.m., exactly 2 hours after the initial quake, it happens. The 5th aftershock, magnitude 8.3. And this time, it's not beneath Tokyo. It's 200 kilometers southwest, directly on the Nankai Trough. The fault that seismologists have warned about for decades. The one that could unleash a quake powerful enough to reshape the Japanese archipelago. The shaking is felt from Hokkaido to Okinawa. In Osaka, skyscrapers crack like eggshells. In Kyoto, centuries-old temples collapse into splinters. In Nagoya, the ground liquefies, swallowing streets whole. The entire southern coast of Honshu is convulsing. Dr. Takamura is standing now, staring at the live seismic feed. His colleagues are silent. The data is unmistakable. The Nankai Trough has ruptured. Not partially, fully. A 600-kilometer tear in the Earth's crust. The kind of event that happens once every 3 centuries. Except it's happening now. And it's happening while the Pacific Plate is still destabilized from the first quake. He picks up the phone. His hand is steady this time. He's beyond fear now. This is a compound megathrust event, he says calmly. We are in uncharted territory. The entire subduction zone is active. Evacuate everyone within 50 kilometers of the coast. And pray. But evacuation is no longer possible. Roads are gone. Trains are derailed. Airports are closed. Ports are underwater. In the chaos, communication networks collapse. Cell phone towers are down. Internet is sporadic. Families are separated, calling out names in the smoke and dust, searching through rubble with bare hands. In Tokyo, a father digs through the remains of his daughter's school. The building pancaked during the 4th aftershock. He can hear voices beneath the concrete. Small voices. Children's voices. He screams for help, but no one comes. Everyone is digging. Everyone is screaming. At 6:30 p.m., as the sun sets over a shattered nation, the 6th aftershock hits. Magnitude 7.9. Centered near Mount Fuji. And now, seismologists detect something new. Volcanic tremors. The quake has destabilized the magma chamber beneath Japan's most iconic peak. For the first time in over 300 years, Mount Fuji is showing signs of an imminent eruption. Steam vents are opening on the eastern slope. Ash is already drifting over Shizuoka. If the volcano erupts now, during this seismic crisis, it will blanket Tokyo in ash, poison water supplies, ground all remaining aircraft, and cut off the last evacuation routes. Scientists are terrified. Officials are paralyzed. Rescue teams are overwhelmed. Hospitals are collapsing under the weight of casualties. Morgues are full. The death toll is climbing into the tens of thousands, and the night has only just begun. Aftershocks continue to hammer the islands, each one a reminder that the Earth is not finished. The Pacific Plate is still moving. The Nankai Trough is still slipping. And deep beneath the surface, pressures are building in places that have been silent for centuries. In the emergency command center, Dr. Takamura stares at a map of Japan covered in red dots. Each dot is an aftershock. There are hundreds. They form a pattern, a curve, stretching from Tokyo Bay down to Kyushu. He traces the line with his finger, and his blood runs cold. Because the pattern isn't random. It's a cascade. One fault triggering the next. A domino effect along the entire Pacific Ring of Fire. And if it continues, if the pressure keeps transferring southward, it will reach the Ryukyu Trench. And then the Philippine Plate. And then, he doesn't finish the thought. Because the alternative is too terrifying to speak aloud. That what started 5 minutes ago in Tokyo Bay could, in the coming hours, become the largest seismic event in recorded human history. That Japan is not experiencing one megaquake. It's experiencing the beginning of a chain reaction that could reshape the entire Western Pacific. And no one knows how to stop it. Outside, the sirens continue to wail. The ground continues to shake. And somewhere deep beneath the ocean floor, the plates continue to grind and slip and scream.